Assalamualaikum and hi, we are from Group 6 and we will present you about the conceptual foundation of ESG or SRI Sukuk and Green Sukuk. So, do you guys know how Islamic finance principle connect to sustainability? Let me start with the prohibition of riba or interest is a foundation for fairness. Islamic finance strictly prohibits riba or interest as money alone cannot generate profit without real effort and risk. This discourages debt-driven speculation, where a major driver of eco-friendly that makes Islamic finance a fairer and more responsible system. Next is risk sharing equals to long-term thinking. Islamic finance replaces interest with profit and loss sharing, where investors and entrepreneurs share both gains and losses equally. This encourages long-term decision-making and discourages excessive risk-taking, which values that are perfectly aligned with sustainable development. Other than that is ethical screening mirrors ESG. Islamic finance has practiced ethical screening for centuries, excluding industries like gambling and unethical exploitation that contradict Islamic values. This mirrors exactly what modern ESG investing does today. Both frameworks use negative screening to avoid harmful industries such as alcohol and tobacco. But beyond avoidance, both also direct capital towards projects that generate real social benefits consistent with the Islamic principle of maslahah or public interest. This practice makes the transition to ESG sukuk not just possible but seamless.
Next, I will explain the difference between conventional bonds and sukuk. Sukuk are totally different from conventional bonds by emphasizing asset ownership, profit sharing and Sharia compliance, making it more ethical and sustainability aligned financial instrument. First of all, in terms of nature, sukuk is asset-backed, which ensure the financing is linked to real economic activity and reduce speculation, while bonds are purely financial contracts where investors lend money to the issuer. Second, the return structure is different. Interest riba is prohibited in Islam, so sukuk use profit sharing or lease income instead, making it more ethical and compliant. Bonds and fixed or variable interest income from the investment they make. Third, sukuk must be Sharia compliant. Sukuk ensure investment are halal and society responsible, which align with ESG value and Islamic. In contrast, conventional bonds have no restriction. Overall, sukuk is more ethical and sustainable compared to conventional bonds, making it emphasize asset ownership, risk sharing, and compliance with Islamic principles.
Next, I'll be explain about the key characteristic of ESG or SRI Sukuk and Green Sukuk. ESG and SRI Sukuk are modern Islamic financial instruments that combine Sharia compliance principle with sustainability goal. They are designed to support responsible investing while staying free to Islamic ethic. The first characteristic is Sharia compliance. This means they avoid any riba, interest, or uncertain or unethical activities such as gambling or any alcohol-related business. Instead of being debt-based like conventional bond, sukuk represent ownership in real asset, ensuring fairness and transparency in every transaction. Second, they promote ethical and responsible investment. The fundraise is used for projects that benefit society and also the environment. For example, solar energy plant, sustainable transport, hospital, and also school. All of these projects help improve people's life and also protect nature. Thirdly, transparency and accountability are very important. Issuers must show clearly how the fund is used and report the result. In Malaysia, the SRI Sukuk framework required annual report and independent review to make sure everything is done honestly and to prevent any greenwashing. Fourthly, the ESG or SRI Sukuk aim for measurable sustainability outcome. This means the project must show real results like reducing carbon emissions, improving social fairness, or increasing climate resilience. Investors can see the positive impact of their money. Finally, this sukuk align with the ESG and SDG objective, supporting international goals such as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Climate Agreement. By combining the Islamic value and global sustainability standard, the ESG or SRI sukuk improve their powerful tools for ethical growth and also fulfilling Maqasid Sharia.
I'm going to present to you about Maqasid al-Sharia, the objectives of Islamic law. It consists of 5 core goals: protecting religion, life, intellect, family, and wealth. In Islamic finance, these objectives act as a moral framework. This means financial activities are not just about making profit, but also about contributing to the well-being of society as a whole. For example, protecting wealth encourages us to use money responsibly and avoid unnecessary risks. And protecting life and future generations reflects the same long-term thinking that sustainable finance promotes. So, in short, Maqasid al-Shari'ah naturally bridges Islamic values with global sustainability goals such as ESG principles. However, combining Islamic finance and sustainable finance is not without challenges. First, there is no unified standard. Different countries follow different guidelines, making it hard to measure whether a product is truly both Sharia compliant and sustainable. Second is the issue of greenwashing and Sharia washing, where the products are labeled as green or Islamic for marketing purposes without truly meeting those standards. This reduces trust among investors. We also face low awareness among the public, a shortage of experts who are trained in those fields, and weak regulations in many Muslim-majority countries. These challenges slow down the progress of building a truly sustainable Islamic financial system.
Assalamualaikum. So I will be explaining about the example sectors that finance through the ESG and SRI Sukuk. And as you can see in the slide, those are the example sectors of it. So ESG and SRI Sukuk are designed to fund projects that deliver measurable social and environmental benefits while staying true to Sharia principles. So let me walk you through some key sectors where these Sukuk have made an impact. So I will be explaining about each of them. So the first one is renewable energy project, but I will explain it in the next slide. So moving on with the green buildings, where Sukuk have supported green building developments by ensuring that the property projects will meet the energy efficient and environmentally friendly standards. So which means that under Malaysia's SRI Sukuk framework, funds have been channeled into the property developments that meet with the energy efficient and environmentally friendly standards. So these projects will reduce the energy consumption, promote sustainable urban living, and ensure that construction will align with both Sharia values and modern sustainability requirements. So the next example is sustainable transportations, where Sukuk are structured to fund the public transport system and infrastructure upgrades that will reduce the carbon emissions. However, this includes the financing for public transport systems and infrastructure upgrades that aim to reduce the traffic congestions and carbon emissions. Moving on to the next example, which is healthcare and education, where Sukuk also finance healthcare and education projects such as the hospital and schools to improving the access to the essential services and promoting social welfare. So these projects will improve the access to essential services, promote social equity, and will reflect the ethical and responsible investment focus that defines the Islamic finance. So the last one is social welfare and climate resilience, where ESG and SRI Sukuk contribute to the social welfare and climate resilient initiative, supporting the vulnerable communities and strengthening the disaster preparedness. This includes the project that protect the vulnerable communities, strengthening disaster preparedness, and will build the resilience against the climate change. So, for the example of renewable energy project, in 2017, Malaysia has issued the world's first green sukuk through Tada Energy by raising 250 million ringgit to finance a 50 megawatt solar power plant in Kudat, Sabah. This shows how Islamic finance can drive the clean energy. And as you can see in the slide, those are taken from the website Tada Energy. This project was groundbreaking because it showed how Islamic finance could directly support clean energy, reduce carbon emissions, and align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. It remains a landmark case that positions Malaysia as a global pioneer in sustainable Islamic finance.